Alright, let's continue on here. We're going to do some motor mount. I've got a jack with a block of wood underneath the oil pan supporting the engine. I'm going to take this cover off here. Just a couple push pins. Should be. I believe it's all it's holding it. Slide this out of here. All the mess, try to keep the grease to a minimum. Keep it off of me. You can see it's just covered with grease from the bad boot on the CV axle. Nice. Alright, it's out though. It's blocked up, just supported. You got a front, a rear, front, and a bolt here. And then there's two that come up through holes in the frame. 15 millimeter, I believe they're all 15 millimeter. Just want to break them loose. Get on them. Break them loose. Once I get them loose, I use a ratcheting wrench. You get in there, can't really, that one's loose. This front one way back in here. My light over, just to see if I'm trying to get my light over so I can get the best light without putting it in the way. My rag. This is really cruddy. So clean it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but look at that mount. It's just destroyed. I'm just going to get these two bolts undone. They're just going to give me grief, that's all. Right, the front one took me all 3 seconds to get out. There's that one. I'm going to go pick it up a little bit and give me a little more clearance on this back one, which is giving me a little bit of grief. Right on the edge of that. I'm not going to be able to get it out of there all the way. It's right there. It's just barely. Alright, now, two underneath. I should be able to do them with the gun. Two holes underneath. I'm just going to reach up to those holes. I believe it'll be 15 millimeter as well. There's one. There's a nut off of one. Slide in a little more here. Yes, I do have a jack stand under it. I'm not just like getting crushed. Find out a hole here. Look at the back of my head. Alright, there's the other. Should be completely free now. Now I've got to pick that up enough to weasel that mount out of there. Let's see if I can do that without having to, I may have to undo the front two motor mounts at the top in front of this and let it give it some more play. We'll see. Not much. I did get some. Boy, there's nothing. Look at that. Whoo! Nothing left of that. There's just nothing left of it. It's probably not enough to get it out of there still, but that thing is utterly destroyed. That's got to come up some more. I don't know how much I can move this without undoing those front motor mounts. Let me see if I can get some more out of it. Huh? 10 minutes. Alright, and some more. Tip it out. Well, you tell me. Let me get a better light here. Get the light back out here. So you can see this. You think that one's bad? Man, look at that. There's nothing left of that. But that's that one, right? That's what it should look like. With the bracket, I transfer the bracket, but wow, that is just destroyed. Alright, let me get the bracket transferred over and we'll put that back together. Okay, took big chunks of what's left of that out of there. Cleaned it off pretty good. I mean, it's not sparkling or anything, but clean it off so it junks out of it. I've got my bracket transferred over. And I'm just going to try to weasel this back in. Hopefully, I don't have to pick the motor up anymore. I don't know. We'll see in a second. This other one's pretty beat up, so let's see. Let's see if we can get this in. Get it in there. I think so. It's close, but there you go. Get it lined up. There we go. Try to get it in the holes and start it here. Got one of them. Oh, I see. I gotta wait for the wrong place. There's one. There's the other. You see how far that shifted forward. So I'm gonna have to shift this motor back. As I let it down, it'll probably come back that way a little bit. I'm just gonna start these by hand on the bottom, just so they don't come out of the, just so they're lined up. I'm not gonna tighten them because you're gonna need to move this and wiggle it around probably in order to get it. So just wanna try to get it started by hand. There's one, the front one now. Okay, so that's still loose. I don't want it tight yet. I'm gonna have to go let this down. Probably move this around a little bit and let it down by little and line these up again and get them started, all started by hand so you don't cross thread them. Got to shift that back. Got to figure out how I'm going to do that. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Got to push the jack maybe a little bit. It's got to come back a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch. All right, so I undid the passenger side top motor mount that's up on the radiator, top of the radiator, and I'm able to shift this around more. I just took a pry bar in there, kind of moved it back. It had to come back, and I lined this up. Let me see if I can get these started. Line up right, start them by hand, and hopefully I'm not too far off here. I'm off that back one, I can tell. It's probably twisted a little bit, but get this one most of the way in, and I have some room to wiggle room to move things around. I think. Let's see me moving it. Twist it a little bit, get it to line up. Motor still has to come back, which means it's just rotate a little bit. It can't really come back in relation to the bracket because the bracket's tied in right here. So I think just rotate it a little bit. Yep. Let's see how we go with that. That easy, it lines up that perfect. Just jinxed myself, I'm sure, but really close. I'm guessing it has to go forward just a little. The bracket, the engine has to come back just a little. That's my guess. But I'm mighty close there. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let me see. Move this engine back just a little if I can. Just, no, wrong way. That was dumb. You just moved it the wrong way. I'm moving it. That's right or not, I don't know. Feeling. Yeah, I'm off a little bit. Off a little bit. That's got to come back. There's nothing to really get against here. Yeah, that's not going to work. course, this is the one that gave me grief coming out too. Let's see the front one here. Let's see where I am. That one wants to go in. Yeah, that one went right in. Turned right in there. Yep, line right up, turned in there. Alright, I've got two of them. This back one is the one that gave me problems before. And coming out was tight. Let me get a mirror and see where I am in relation to that hole. Boy, you talk about close. So which way do I need to go? I need to come back to me just a little bit, and maybe just a little bit that way. It's actually in there a little too far. So let me see if I can tweak it. I don't know how I'm going to tweak it or what I'm going to tweak it against. Very, very close, though. I will say that. It is very close. Another look at it. I think it's clearing on all sides, isn't it? That looks to me like I should be able to get this bolt in there. I'm not misaligned. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Quick before it decides to change its mind. All right. There we go. Beautiful. Wow, I don't know if you can see the difference. That I couldn't get this in there before. Wasn't even, there's not enough room. There's nothing but room now. That's how collapsed it was. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so I got to get a different wrench. I'm just going to snug this up, and then I'll get a different wrench to finish it off. But there's probably that 3/4 of an inch, almost more height to this right now, because the mount's not destroyed. This one just turned right in, like that. Tighten all three of these. Get my air wrench too, my air gun, and we'll tighten the two that are coming up through the frame. Don't want to forget that. All right, tighten them up. These aren't brutally tight, by the way. They're going to aluminum, so don't crush them. They need to be tight, but don't kill them. They weren't that hard getting out of there. I'm guessing 50 to 60 pounds, something there. It's a guess, though. I don't really know. All right, this one. Good. Now we'll go underneath. Put my glove back on. And two in the frame. Two nuts that are in the frame. Good. That's it. So, look at that one. Look at this one. Oh man, that thing is, there's nothing left of that thing. There's virtually nothing left of it. Well, it should make a big difference. It's sitting much higher. Alignment's going to be a lot better on it. So that's it for the placement of the motor mount.